Yeah, so I have a new light, and I'm not sure how that's
Do
going,
you
but
think we do you think we look alike? I'm just looking at you right now. I'm wondering if do I look like you?
I hope not.
You could have said so many different things and you chose to say that. Shame on you.
My heart was pounding. You can't not be nervous. My hands were clammy.
Well, it's more intense than any competition.
S-T-R-E-S-S.
This one letter, and you're out.
Cephalalgia,
Cephalalgia?
a pain in the head. Nephalognacy,
Dysphagia.
hellebore,
Zyboxia.
palimpsest.
Hello, everybody. Today we are talking film. We are talking the 2003 documentary titled Spellbound. Spellbound is directed by Jeffrey Blitz, and there's no stars, everybody. It's just following the lives of several kids. These are children who haven't reached the age of high school. They're not even ninth graders. These are primarily seventh and eighth grade students who are vying for the National Spelling Bee. And that might not sound very interesting, but you should see it. I think it is very interesting. And I saw it when it came out, Jake, and in rewatching it, I got a different perspective. I felt like it was a love letter to the U.S. in a way, because you have a lot of immigrants coming here. I didn't in my recollection of it, I don't remember it being really an immigrant story, but it really is. It's Indian immigrants, Mexican immigrants who are vying for this. And of course, it's also Americans. It's not just an immigrant story, but you could just feel the love of America from some of these immigrants who just talk about the second chance of these spellers who might not have done well when they were in seventh grade, but they have one more opportunity. It feels like a warm hug as you watch it, and it's worth watching. And I'll give it to you, but before I do, I just want to say that it reminds me of why I'm a teacher, because you get these different quirky personalities, and of course, for me, the primarily what who stands out is this kid Harry, and he's the one who opens the documentary with this kind of strange faces, and he's just these idiosyncratic ways and his jokes. He does a robot voice, so it reminds me of kind of the different personalities you get as a teacher. I know sometimes we get into this mindset of, oh, you teach high school, there's just this one type of kid. No, what's fun is they're so unique. You get some tough kids at times, but you often appreciate the personalities. Um, and
Yeah.
I do want to mention a lot of these students are smart. You have this spelling idea of these kids who are incredible spellers, but you have to know different languages, at least in some ways. You need to know etymologies. You need to know kind of the roots of certain languages like
Mhm.
French and German and Spanish to succeed as a speller. See, there's there's some great students in terms of intelligence, in terms of progress, and other subjects. And I want to talk to you about where they are now. A lot of these students, because you can imagine the success of them. But what is your take about this
Well,
stuff,
it's funny
Jake?
that you share that regarding them now. I don't know where they're at now, but throughout the whole movie, because this is the second time I've watched it as well, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to guess that these 8 students they actually cover a ninth kid by the name of Georgie a little bit, because he was this exceptional speller, came in 4th place the year before. So this is like happened in 2002. Maybe this is a spelling bee of 2001, probably. But that being said, yeah, I'm thinking, where are these kids? And I have like guessed that most of them are pretty successful because they are not just spellers. And when you go through the film, you see that they're involved in other things besides spelling. Some of them are math geniuses. Some of them are they have other giftings in other areas, science and so forth. But you know what? There are a couple things came out. One thing that you just shared regarding kind of like an American film, because you have all these immigrants coming in and becoming and really wanting to be American. Especially the one that really touched me was the first person that was covered. Her name was Angela. Her parents came from Mexico. They actually crossed the river, right, to get into the United States. And you see their story and you go, wow, these people worked hard and to give their daughter a better life. And at one point, the older son is basically saying that, like, this is what it's about. My father's seeing my sister do very well at the spelling bee. And so a lot of these families, it's really a story of family as well. You dive into the mother, father, and child relationship, and even the siblings. And one thing also I have to mention as I was watching the film, there's just little funny little things that are thrown in there, right? Like for example, there's one of the signs that was showing, "Hey, we're proud of you, so and so." I'm not sure if it was Angela or if it was another one, Nupe or Ted. "We're proud of you, congratulations." And then they say spelling bee and they misspell the word, and or a Hooters has a sign saying, "Good luck,
Well,
Ted." You know,
they misspelled, I believe, congratulations.
congratulations or something like that. And so, but I thought that was cool though, because it's a funny thing. It's about the spelling bee, and then there's misspellings going on. But I really felt that as I was watching it, I did feel like every family's different, but it was interesting because you have a Jewish home, a home of Indian. You have someone who's a Mexican American, and you have a couple Anglos who are coming up. One from New Jersey, another one from I think like Connecticut, and so all throughout the country. But every one of them, Ruben, I think you might agree, they did have a family base, and they had people who were backing them up. Some might even argue that maybe some of these parents were a little bit too pushy. But I would say there was some of that, but I would say each one of them had parents who loved them, who was supporting them, and even when they didn't do well, they were there just to be there for them and for their fall, because they knew that there's only one national champion. There's like 249 contestants every year in Washington D.C., and you see these 8 people travel to Washington D.C. with their family. It's a big deal. Some of them had never been out of their town, like when I was mentioning Angela from Mexico. These are people who never traveled that far, and for them to go there, that was a big deal. And you see their nerves, and it's just a really cool story of these children, really.
I almost feel though that when you say too pushy, I almost feel like it's an American bias to say that. Like if we're raised here, we
Fair.
think, well, that's pushy. But if you're from China or India, it's not pushy. This is how they do things. If you're an immigrant from some of these places, and I agree that they do give a different. That there's a diverse view. Of you have a African American, Mexican, Jewish, maybe from the Northeast. But you kind of feel as you watch this that it gives you a glimpse into the psychology of the Indian American immigrant, because you mentioned the Georgie character. Um, there's this Neil character. There's not character; these are actual people. And then the eventual, I don't want to spoil it, but somebody else who does very well. I'm forgetting her name, but I'll tell you right now. Um, there's a love of language. There really is, and at one point there's a quote of this Indian American girl who says, "I didn't know what the word opportunity was, but I used it because I love the word opportunity." So she was a real young girl, at maybe 6 or 5. She started using the word. I liked my opportunities, but she didn't even know what the word was when she was that young. But she used it because of the love of language. When I talked to an Indian American girl who used to be an actress at the Old Lizard Theater Company, she had mentioned this because the movie had just come out, and she had said, "There's a reverence for language, for the English language among Indians." Which is very refreshing as an English teacher. I love that. So you really sense it when you watch this documentary.
They seem to be enjoying themselves too, to be fair, because you don't see them like not wanting to do this. Although they also are, a couple of them I get a little sad for, because I have a feeling like they're like, well, I might not win, or they're already starting like to protect themselves for the possibility of losing. So I felt like they were like, okay, just in case, I'm going against the best spellers in the nation at their age. And so it's amazing just to get to that point, right? And I thought, wow, these poor kids, they really are self-protecting themselves. And I get it, but they did have I would say all these families were there to support them at the end. So that was great.
Maybe you won't feel sorry for them once you find out what ends up happening to
I do
most of
want to
them.
know, Ruben. I didn't know.
I
I was
mean,
thinking to myself, it'd be a great opportunity
you
to,
might not.
huh?
Maybe you won't shed too many tears about their success.
Well,
You know,
you like all, I would say, Ruben, it's hard to say this about a film, but I really liked all the kids. I'm going to tell you my favorite was April, real quick, before you tell me what happened to these kids. April had a mother and father,
poor
and
April didn't win. Poor
I'm sure April did
April.
very well. But her father, and she lasted long. I think she was top 15. Her father and mother were just like, she mentions them like they're Archie Bunker and Edith Bunker, right? And her mom did kind of give me that vibe because she wasn't the brightest, not that that's not a fair word, but she wasn't maybe as gifted as her father or even the daughter, but the mother was funny. And so she's just a regular mom,
Again, failure. But the thing is failure in this context, failure is not real. It's you didn't win the national spelling bee.
Yeah.
How many people go out for it?
They won
And
their
you win,
state or yeah.
and you win regionals. You're successful, and I mean, these are the building blocks of success. Some of these, these little failures, if we can call them that. Um,
For
I mean,
sure.
I guess that's how you can look at it. But I get what you're saying. These are young kids and they have these dreams. So you have this kid, Neil Kadakia, whose
Mhm.
father pushed him in these. I mean, we're talking spelling bee tutors in French. He just had a French tutor just to practice French.
Yeah, I
And
thought he
then,
was gonna win. Just like
right, I did too, but he
he's
didn't.
very
Um,
gifted.
when we last what and this is kind of outdated in some ways, but he graduated from UC Berkeley and became the vice president of a real estate company. Emily Stagg, right? This
Tell me that.
girl whose mother said at one point, "Is this child abuse the way I'm pushing my daughter?" So she asked that question, but she ended up being graduating from Yale and becoming a nurse practitioner. And who knows, she might have done even greater things than that.
That's
Because this
great
is
though.
Ashley White. Remember her? Her mother complained that she
Yeah,
didn't get a fair shake at some of the spelling bee
yeah.
tutorials. She became a teenage mother at 18 and became homeless.
Oh wow.
But she got some support later, and she ends up going to college and getting a master's in social work at Howard University. So,
I am so happy for her. That is
yes, she was a real sweet girl.
very sweet, very smart.
April, little girl you were mentioning, pessimistic little girl, tough on herself. She eventually graduated from NYU in journalism, and she works in publishing. Harry, my favorite.
Oh, Harry.
Poor Harry didn't win. Oh, poor Harry. No, he received a PhD in mathematics. He's all
Oh,
right. And
PhD
then,
in mathematics. Is that not a surprise?
um,
How about did
and
you get anything know about what's her name? Angela?
yes, master's in Spanish at University of New Mexico. She's a teacher, and
Good job,
again, there might
Angela.
be a teacher in Spanish. And the winner, well, now I gave it up. Edit that out, Jacob. When I
Yeah.
said the
Well, you
winner,
didn't say it. Yeah, you didn't say the name yet. Just say the
uh,
winner. What did the winner do now?
she ends up becoming a doctor, brain surgeon,
Oh
researching. Now
God.
she's researching on. She's an oncologist. So,
Okay.
poor Teddy. Remember Teddy, the big
Yes.
kid? He was getting his degree. I want to say medical medical school, but he died. He ended up
No.
passing while he attended medical school. So
Oh.
that's very sad. But we can see though the great level of success that these kids have, including Georgie. I have his little information
Oh,
here. Georgie,
Georgie. He was cute.
senior director of business development, working on improving outcomes for transplant patients. So he got into the medical field. These are not dummies, Jacob.
Oh,
These
that
are
kid
not.
was special. Yeah, they're all special.
Don't think that these kids are going to all end up losers, like you said earlier. These are
It's
successful people.
okay, character. Hey, I got goosebumps. Can you see my goosebumps? I'm not sure if you see my hair sticking up because
I
I'm
don't
so
want to
happy
see
about this. This is great news. I hope people watch this documentary. and go back and listen to this video again, because this is wonderful to see these young people do well years later. I mean, every one of them, even though one of them had a little tough time there, it sounds like, but you could even know her story that she'll probably end up doing wow, just because she did have some support, but also she had a good heart, and she was and very smart. But yeah, this is great, Ruben. Thank you for sharing that. That is so cool.
Thank you very much, everybody, for watching this, and check it out, Spellbound. And not the Hitchcock version. That's a totally different thing. Anyway, we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.